Eric and Amy Deering from the Adventure Channel. Just got back from my trip, mountain bike trip down to Bentonville, Arkansas, and had a great time.
Yeah, we left Michigan to get out of the snow and ended up having 4 inches of snow down there in mid-March.
So 4 inches of snow one day, other days we were there, 60 degrees. You kind of get what you get when you head south, but we like to head south we're Michiganders. And so we thought what we'd do is show you a little bit about our trip with some video. So we're gonna play that here in the background, and then we'll just kind of talk about some different things. Our goal is to help you learn the area, maybe find some trails you want to do, maybe find some breweries you want to hit, coffee shops. But our intention of these videos are to inform you and hopefully entertain you a little bit. So
strap on your helmets and lock in your clips.
There you go.
It's always fun to go down with a great group of friends. And then here is Bentonville.
Yeah, so we went down with about 8 of us, and they're from our bike team. We've got a REMAX Deering team, bike team, race team, recreational team. We do a lot of mountain biking together and hit different destinations. So like Amy said, this is downtown Bentonville. Wasn't that crazy? I mean, the trail starts right downtown.
Yeah, but what I love about this is it's kind of like an amusement park if you look at it and breaking it up into sections. You have the single track on the side, but if you get, tired or anything, you can always head right back to town and do shopping. There's art galleries, there's all kinds of great things to see down there, but primarily the mountain biking is just amazing.
Yeah, this gives you a good idea. This is called Slaughter Pen, and for this particular ride, we parked downtown and rode this section. But this connects you to dozens and dozens and dozens of miles of single track. But like Amy said, there's a trail, and you can kind of see it there in the middle. It's called the Greenway. So depending on how you're feeling, if you're like, man, I've had it for the day, head back on the green trail and you can get back to town. Or pair up with a couple buddies that have a little more energy, want to hit some more difficult stuff, and but this is Slaughter Pen.
Yeah, what I really like about that too is on that greenway you'll see people on that paved path. We had a friend that was coming off from injury, and she didn't want to jump right into the single track, so I said, hey, let's jump off and take this greenway and ride for that a bit. But then later on down the course, she saw that the single track was running alongside the greenway, and we jumped on. It was a green section, so it wasn't too difficult to navigate. There was some fun features in there, but some go-arounds as well.
Something to mention is we use trail forks that kind of gets you around. There's MTB projects and there's trail forks. There's Paul having some fun. Trail forks and does communicate right with that Garmin that's on my handlebars there. That wasn't my preferred mount. That was forgot my real mount and put that one on for the trip. But Trail Forks works with all of your Garmins, and literally when you stop at an intersection, it'll tell you what is to the left, what is to the right. There's green trail, blue trail, black diamond. And it's a pretty cool way. As you can see, I already took that Garmin off and put it in my pocket. It's flopped around too much.
This was a cool feature too that they had along the, what was that called? The
Slaughter
Pen.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun. You can tell they spent a lot of money, put a lot of effort and time and thought into this.
Speaking of the money in the trail system down here, this is I believe Walmart funded, like the family of Walmart spent just millions and millions. I'm not exaggerating. I'd love somebody comment below if you know how much is put into these trails. But Oz Trails, I believe, partnered with, I believe it's donors from Walmart, built this infrastructure down here that's basically nationwide popular, and it's a huge destination for mountain biking. But
yeah, fun fact, Sam Walton started Walmart right here in Bentonville, and if you hit a rain day or something, you can always go into their museum there. They have a really cool museum, and it was actually closed due to the inclement weather down there while we were there, but it's a lot of fun. So kudos to the Walmart family for putting their time and effort and money into this project.
I thought it was hilarious that we got a couple inches of snow and the whole town shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, we're from Michigan, you know, it takes 12 plus inches and crazy blizzards for us to not send the kids to school, but
Right.
they got a couple inches of snow and the whole town shut down.
Yeah, speaking of that too, when you're planning a trip to travel, it's always good to check their weather forecast before you go, because we did plan a little bit for colder weather, so we packed some warmer stuff, so that's always a good thing to check out.
And as you know, as adventurers, if you go into mountain towns, no matter what it is, always bring all kinds of layers. I mean, it's the mountain temperature. This isn't mountain area, but a lot of the mountain areas, the Smokies and the Rockies, the weather changes by the hour. You got to be prepared for anything. So kind of did the same thing here. I mean, you can see Mike there. He's in shorts and short sleeves, and I think we're at mid 50s right then. And you know, for us in Michigan, that's a heat wave.
Yeah, for sure.
So some of the trails we're on right now are basically intermediate. Something else to kind of point out when you start leaving the state and doing some mountain bike traveling, that intermediate in other areas is advanced to Michiganders. You know, and we had one team member friend that came on his hardtail, and he quickly found out that a hardtail is not designed maybe for getting out of state and hitting some fun trails.
Yeah.
But I learned the same thing. So
Almost went home with a new bike.
yeah, I almost bought a bike on spot just to enjoy the rest of the couple days for full suspension. But
Hey, why'd you skip that section there,
you
Mark?
weren't supposed to notice it. It was day one. I didn't want to get hurt yet.
Gotcha.
It was day one. So we are still on the outskirts of Slaughter Pen. There's a lot of different trail on left and right side of Slaughter Pen and of the Greenway. We're going to come up here to the Greenway again, which is the paved path that gets you just about anywhere. The Greenway is actually 40 miles, I believe, from Bella Vista all the way down to Fayetteville. So if you do some looking on the map, that's quite a ways. That's for the paved path if you want to just get some exercise on the paved path, and there's literally mountain bike trails on each side of it.
Yeah, we'll be talking a little bit more about Fayetteville in this video too, won't we, Mark?
Yes, well, that'll be coming up. So right now we got Paul, one of our young guns on our team. We spotted an area. It's like, hey, check this out. This is still intermediate, but it was still really cool. It's a nice rocky drop. And this is our first time down it, so we weren't sure what to expect. You know, dropper seats all the way down, but dragging on the tire behind you. Weren't sure what these were, if these were big drops, so we kind of checked it out.
Okay.
You'll see here in a little bit, we go and do
that.
the full section. Right here, we do the full section again from the top, and actually we haven't been to the top part of this either, but you know, I picture if you did this 3 or 4 times, this was at the end of the day, if you did this 3 or 4 times, it would be a blast just to get more and more comfortable and test your abilities. But I said dropper post, and that reminded me, I would highly recommend a full suspension bike to take down here. They do rent them in town, so you don't have to have your own. We rented full suspension bikes before we bought ours, and just realized that if we're going to go out of state a lot, that's the thing to do. So we bought some that we're going to, you know, that we use dropper post. I mean, you got a dropper post and you're like, I'll never own another bike without one.
Yeah, that was a big game changer for me. I'm going back to the video here too. I just love that you get that mountain bike feel, yet you're so close to town, and at any point you don't feel comfortable on this, you can drop back out of this. There's a lot of trails leading down, and jump back on that Greenway if you're maybe just, you know, starting to push your limits in your mountain biking skills and feel like it's not really something you want to, you know, do this. Obviously these guys are doing some tougher stuff, but the Greenway, as you can see off to the left there, you can jump right back on that.
Or if you blow a shock out like Rob did, you know, or something crazy, you got quick access out. One thing that's not going to be shown on this video, here's us leaving Slaughter Pen for the day, and there's all kinds of fun little test your skill, you know, things, features we call them, that hey, try this, try that, and you can just kind of test your skills and have some fun. But that's kind of what I was going to get at too, is on a Saturday when the weather's better and they call it more of their season, I mean, this whole area is packed with teenage kids, younger kids, you know, whatever, and I just think it's so cool that they're spending their Saturday. You can do this as a loop and just keep doing it over and over and over. It was packed, but it wasn't packed where it was annoying. It was packed just to see how cool to have the younger generation just out there having a blast. This area is huge into cycling, and it shows.
Yeah, and I don't know if we have any footage of it, but even off to the other side of the greenway, there were quite a few big like jumps that these kids were going off, just insane. But if you're not able to attempt that or don't want to, it's always fun to watch the locals down there just really ripping it up.
It's definitely because they're local and young is why they were doing it.
Exactly,
that's not
young.
It's not because I can't do it.
Right,
it's
keyword, young.
So we're kind of leaving Slather Pen. You can see how cool that was, and hey, here it is, a whole nother day. Now we're over at Devil's Den.
In Fayetteville, right?
Near Fayetteville.
Near Fayetteville.
And you're going to see that, let me see here, Devil's Den, and then we're going to come up to Fossil Flats, which is all part of the Monument Trails. Inside there is also Devil's Racetrack. It's actually which we're on right now. This is Devil's Racetrack, and that takes you to Fossil Flats, and then there's Gold Brick, Dollar a Day, all you can eat, all kinds of fun, cool names. But this was Reese, Michael Reese up ahead of me on his hardtail, and this is where he was like, oh man, this is not a hardtail area. So I jumped in front of him here and started doing some of the Devil's Racetrack. This whole area is considered an intermediate area, not a black diamond, but you're going to see as we get closer to Fossil Flats that it definitely got your technical skills out. If you're not used to riding on rocks and seeing big ledges, it would definitely test your abilities a little bit, but you've gone through that, and what would be your advice for somebody who sees those rocks and gets nervous?
Well, I say if you're nervous, get off your bike. There's no sense in taking chances, but I wouldn't say I'm a super skilled rider, but I rode everything on this trail. I think there was one point where I had to get off my bike, but that's because somebody might have been stopped in front of me a little bit. But again, I'm on an e-bike, which I really enjoy. It helps me to be able to keep up with my husband and still enjoy the day, at any length of time. One thing about this trail too, like many trails, there's not just one point of entry. There's other trailheads you can park at.
Oh yeah.
We took our RV, had a little lunch afterward. Beautiful scenery. I say too, you're out there to enjoy the biking, but stop once in a while and look around. You might miss some really cool, photo opportunities or whatever if you're just focused on, getting that ride in. But just stop and enjoy the views too.
I think she's talking to me a little bit because we'll go do some fun rides, and did you see that overlook? Did you see that bridge?
Yeah. Or that big lake of water?
And I'm like, no, I must have missed that. I guess I'm just kind of narrow focused on the trail. We're getting through Fossil Flats. I think this is part of Fossil Flats up here. And rocky, chunky, little bit, not crazy, just enough of a fun challenge. Once again, what I was going to mention was that I had to learn from going out of state a decent amount was that these rocks are not that intimidating when you start to realize that your bike goes over them just like it does dirt. I think it plays with the mind a little bit. I think that it makes you think that the bike's going to hit it and bounce off of it and do something crazy. More often than not, it's just going to ride over it just like it was dirt. So that would be my advice. Just let the bike do what it's built for. The suspension is built for this. Once again, if you're on a full suspension, if you have the right tires, the bike's going to do a great job. I do want to say something on the tires thing. If you're going to these areas and you're used to a minimalist tire, like an XC, Michigan XC race tire, super lightweight, super thin wall, and running low tire pressure, don't do that in these areas. You're going to have flat after flat after flat, and you're going to be frustrated. Run, maybe call down to the bike shop down there, ask what tire they're running. I still prefer tubeless, but maybe a little meatier tire.
Yeah, buddy.
And and run probably in that 30 pounds PSI, a little bit more than you would run, here in Michigan, where we got the super fast, trails that we're riding that we go down to 20 PSI. But little advice for you.
Yeah, and if you noticed back there on the screen, it looked a little muddy. I can assure you that was not sweat, even though it was beautiful day. There's some fun little waterfalls that you ride under, just a little trickle, maybe cool you off a little bit. So take the time to enjoy that too.
Yep, we're still in Fossil Flats, I believe. Don't quote me on some of this. I'm sure I'll get bashed for having some of these trails wrong. But I still think we're in Fossil Flats, or maybe we are now in Fossil Flats and that wasn't earlier. But check this out, guys. This is so cool. I got the young guys ahead of me. I'm trying to keep up with them, and they were probably riding about half their ability, probably keeping me around. But this was so cool. I think Amy pops in here in a little bit too. And I can imagine, I'd like to go back here in the fall. Could you imagine being down there with the colors and the trees?
That'd be beautiful. But it was beautiful nonetheless.
Yeah, this is so cool. We come up to some pretty cool rock shelves and, this is all built by Rock Solid, the trail company. And they do a great job. I mean, they're out there with all their heavy equipment and a lot of hand tools and just building things that there's a lot of natural out there, but there's a lot of man-made stuff that helps make the trail to where it will last. You don't have to keep doing maintenance on it. I think they call it armoring the trail. I don't remember what this is here. This is a really cool cove with some waterfall action. I think I'm trying to film the waterfall as the guys go around it here. I don't think that clip was supposed to be in there, but here we go. This is the clip I wanted to show. A little bit of water hitting you. Mm-hmm. And more of a waterfall coming up. Obviously different times of the year, there'll be more and less water. But we all got excited to ride around there. Hey, take a picture of me going through the waterfall. Yeah. Hey, take a picture of me, blah, blah, blah. It's fun.
We should.
Some of these parts are really cool. Watch how narrow it gets. You're basically handlebars are rock to rock getting through there. And you were a rock star. You were pushing right through there. And
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I think there was a little bit of an offset or a goof up here. We took the wrong line down.
Somebody took the wrong line down.
Careful.
We'll blame it on Paul.
I went the wrong way.
There's the trail.
Somebody took the right line down.
Yeah, that's Noah. You were behind.
I know.
I was blocking it. That's the Enduro.
Yeah, that's the Enduro one. Video, Paul, don't do that.
So
that was a fun section right there.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that one.
Look how they built this. I mean, there's some natural in there, but then they built it so that you could, get around it. And once again, back to that statement about dirt, just picture it like dirt. You just roll over it. It doesn't have to be super intimidating just because it's rock.
Woo!
While we're watching some of this, guys, leave us some comments below. Give us a like if you like this, some type of informative videos like this. There's a ton of videos out there. There's the downhill experts that give you a ton of the adrenaline stuff. We try to give you some of that here and there, but we also like to inform you, kind of give you a heads up. Like, oh my gosh, I got to go try that section on this trail, or I got to try that different hike, kayak, travel location. That's what the Adventures with REMAX is all about. So
yeah,
give us a like and subscribe.
Yeah, maybe share some of your favorite trails too, and the ones that are a must hit, or maybe some to avoid if you're not as skilled as a lot of people are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see these coming up and I'm like, oh, that was one of my favorite sections too. There's a lot of my favorite sections down there. I'm anxious to go back.
Yeah, we've been down there twice now, or I've been down there twice, and Amy's been down there just the once. But as all of you guys are aware, you know, there's not enough time in a day when you get to these awesome bike destinations. There's not enough time in a weekend. There's not enough time in a week. Maybe if you had a full week, you could hit all of the favorite spots. But that's another thing that we want to do. I do before I go somewhere is I try to check out videos. Like, oh, I gotta try that. So we're just trying to give back and help people decide what trails they want to hit. But there she is. There's the rock star ahead of me.
That was a pretty flowy, fun section.
Yeah, this is coming out of Fossil Flats, I believe. Not sure if it's called Gold Brick or Dollar a Day, one of those.
And to the right seems like
They look like they were staying there for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they're young
That's right.
and fast.
No, you're fine.
So now this section that we're coming up to, I believe, is going to be a little bit tamer, a little bit less punchy, more of your flowy, I don't know how to describe it best, but more of, you know, not giant chunky rocks. It turns into kind of a more of a flowy area. Don't be deceived. It still felt like there was some good amount of climb in there, but this is kind of what we're used to in Michigan. This turns into a little bit about what we're used to in Michigan. It's still a lot of fun though.
Yeah, and I believe that there was a river that ran alongside there too, so you will come up to a creek crossing or river crossing eventually.
Yep, on this video.
So, and that's kind of fun too.
I think it's one of the next shots. It was, that's fun. That was a fun wood section after testing your nerves in the rocks.
Good spot to get your legs back under you for a rookie like me.
Hey, a fun little fact that we were doing, two things that I want to say. You know, you go with a group of 6 or 8 or however many, and there's some that are, first of all, there's that rock bottom creek, so I'll show you this real quick and then we'll talk about what I was going to say. But this was fun.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I was like, okay,
Well, somebody picked a good line.
not me.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
There's Amy making it across, no problem. For some reason, I didn't go where she went.
Oh boy, oh boy.
But I still made it through. So what I was getting at, they were up there and we kept telling them, hey, just don't wait for us, just go, you know, because they're doing it at maybe an extra mile or 2 per hour, getting their workout in. So what we ended up starting to do was they would mark an arrow with their foot in the dirt at the intersections. So that worked out pretty well. Like, oh, they went left here. Oh, they went right there. We just have to look down and look for which area they drew with their foot.
That was a really good idea by somebody.
That was my brilliant wife. So now we went to another trail. This is another day, another trail. This is cool. This is Blowing Springs, okay? Blowing Springs Trail right off of Blowing Springs Campground. You can see the campground off to the left. If you watch closely, you'll see some campers down there. But they built a mountain bike trail that you can see and ride right from the campground. We'd be sitting at a fire or sitting at whatever and looking up, and there's people driving by on their bike.
Yeah, you could even take the greenway all the way to that campground and then jump on the trails over there, which are real convenient too.
Yep, what she just mentioned, the greenway, we didn't really do till the last day, almost the last day, where we rode the greenway from Bella Vista, Blowing Springs Campground, and to go down to Slaughter Pen, to go downtown. It was really cool. Mountain bike trails all along the sides in case you wanted to bomb in and your buddies around the paths. This actually is a black diamond, the section that we're on. It was a Blowing Springs black diamond. You'll see it on Trail Forks. We thought that it was a intermediate trail.
Was it marked as blue though? Or?
I think it was. It's kind of interesting. It's marked blue, In some areas it's marked black in others. So anyway, you'll see it's a little chunky. That's gonna test your rock abilities. It's gonna test your you know, root ability, your balance ability, but not, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of, if you fall, it's, you know, you're gonna fall off the ridge or what, but it wasn't super crazy.
Right, it's nice to have a more experienced rider ahead of you because they can call out things. I was grateful that you were ahead of me that one time because it was a huge drop, like huge rock drop. And if I would have come up on that quickly, I don't know that I would have probably been able to stop without you.
Right there, look straight up. That was a 3-foot rock drop that I did not take, and if you know, if you were to take it and you couldn't turn right, it would have been pretty dang ugly. So
yeah, we're talking full face helmet stuff.
So be careful, you know, remember if you're not familiar with the trail, don't try to have an ego and do it without looking at it first. Even the pros like BKXC and a couple of them guys, they'll look at stuff and then they'll turn around and do it. You know, they're not doing some stuff blind. You know, I mean, certain levels, obviously, you can do blind without having to check every single little thing, but just be careful out there. I'm talking to myself when I say that too.
Yeah, ride smart so you can keep riding.
Absolutely. So this is more of that Blowing Springs loop. That road to the right is the campground that you can see. I think we're still, yep, we're still in Blowing Springs.
And then I ride sloppy when I'm out of breath,
this side is chunky side. It would be the, I think it was the west side. I think it was the west side of the trail around the campsite was the chunky technical side. You'll see here in a minute that we go over to the other side and it's not. So if you want to stay away from some of this, there is a way to go and not hit some of the chunky, rooty, technical, get your bike up there stuff.
Yeah, that's what I love about this area is there's so many different options.
Bikes make a big difference too, right?
Oh, huge.
Do this again, kids.
Once again, you know, rent a bike may be built for the area, and I'll warn you in advance that it's going to be an expensive rent, not the $100 it costs to rent, but you're going to fall in love with the bike after you rent it.
Yeah, that's how I fell in love with the dropper post. Was we were down in Brown County actually and rented a couple Santa Cruzes down there and had a dropper post, and boy, after riding that,
kudos, you just blazed up that. This is from Amy's kayak. Sorry to interrupt you, but
okay.
You're killing it right now.
Thanks. Well, again, it's learning to let your bike do its thing and trusting your bike. I used to pick out every twig, every rock, every root and be real nervous. Now there I stopped because that was a little sketchy. I couldn't tell which line was the best line to take.
I think I just sent it down there. Just kidding.
You probably did.
At the very least, super scenic. Even the techie stuff, if you don't feel comfortable riding it, push your bike and you're still in some super scenic spots. I mean,
For sure.
Worth the view all day long. All right, I think that we are now on the other side. There is a little techie spot to get in there, but you don't have to hit it. You can go down the side like this. But now you're going to be in a little tamer area.
As we walk our bike through it. Just
right,
kidding.
right. Yeah, this is a little more, you know,
Fast.
I would say true intermediate to beginner. Fast, flowy fun. We did come across a few hikers on this trail, so a fun fact, or a fact I should say, all trails in Bentonville, Arkansas are two-way traffic. So some Michiganders aren't used to that. We just have to always be, you know, looking ahead, thinking ahead. On the real technical, twisty, fast stuff, I'll even just give like a woohoo, woohoo when I'm coming. hoping that the person ahead, if there is somebody, hears me and maybe they'll do the same and we can both slow down before we come across each other. But keep in mind, either you're going uphill or they're going downhill. So as long as both of you have your wits about it, I don't think there's too many accidents. Just kind of have to be aware of it.
Yeah, and if you really want to freak out your friends, just say, "Hey bear, hey bear." At least the people can hear you ahead.
Yep, we got a friend that yells out "Hey bear" all the time. So as you can see, this is much more flowy, fun. You get a taste of all of it. I think we just passed a couple signs that said beginner and intermediate, green and blue. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the trails are marked really well. Even if you don't have trail forks or something like that, the trails are marked really, really well.
Yeah, I didn't think you could really even get lost in this area because you can, as you notice off to the right there, it runs very close to that greenway. And so, yeah, I just think it's a great family area.
Yeah.
Riders of all abilities would enjoy themselves.
Absolutely. Uh-oh, Steve. I met Steve this day. Hopefully we'll become riding buddies. Oh!
Oh, shoot.
Oh, I asked him if I can use this in the video or not. But
okay?
Everybody, he's okay.
He's all right. He's all right. We check him out before we laugh. We always make sure that everybody's okay before we chuckle.
That's what I love about the biking community too. You get to these areas, and actually these our new friends are from Holland, Michigan, Grand Haven, Michigan, and we were able to connect with them while we were down here and ride with them, and it's such a fantastic sport to be in, to meet fun people that you'll be enjoying some life with.
Absolutely. I haven't met a bad family in mountain biking yet, and I've been doing it pretty intensely for about 12 years now, and haven't found anybody that I don't like a lot. Where are we now? I think we're still in some Blowing Springs, intermediate. This video is not going to give you even an ounce of what is out there in Bentonville, Arkansas. I just wanted to kind of at least show you a little bit, give you some information. It would be a 10-hour video, and that would maybe be 2% of what's down there. But hopefully this kind of helps you out, and you can kind of see the terrain and what it looks like in March. Friends of ours go down in January and February, and they say it's good then too. Just hit or miss with weather. Once again, just watch the weather. But this is one of our favorite destinations. It's a 12-hour drive from Grand Rapids, and what we do is we leave after work one day, drive till we're tired, say till midnight or 2, sleep for 4 hours, wake up at 6 a.m.-ish, and finish the trip, and you're in town, say Thursday at noon. And you've got all Thursday, Friday, Saturday you can ride. You can do the same thing on the way back. So
yeah, when you're not dead tired when you get down there, you still can enjoy the riding.
Absolutely. I mean, you can fit 3 days of riding in, leaving, get my days screwed up here, but leave on a Wednesday night. Yeah, leave on a Wednesday night and get 3 days of riding and back Sunday by noon or 1, and can get cleaned up and get ready for the next work week. So
all worth it.
Oh, I forgot about this section. This is back 40. So back 40 also comes out of the Buena Vista or the Bella Vista Blowing Springs campground, and it is a fun 20+ mile loop. It's a big giant loop, and it can take you anywhere between 3 and 6 hours probably, depending on your ability. But what we did is we shot up the greenway and actually onto some roads and got up the side of the back 40 and just took this section back down. So it's kind of a fun way. We were kind of burning time and looking for something extra to do a little bit, and we still got some good single track without committing to the full back 40.
Yeah, and I want to talk about is it the Blowing Springs campground that we stayed at?
Yes, I believe that's the name.
In Bella Vista, and it was amazing because they actually had a laundry facility that you could use. So, you know, you can pack extra clothes, or if you don't have enough clothes, you can always use their laundering facility. Very, very thought out plan for them to include that.
On that same note, while we're talking about lodging, you saw back about 30 seconds ago there were some homes up there, and so the campground's at the bottom of this trail, but then all along and all of these ridges are homes. There's some right there. So you got some homes there. Those are some private, obviously a lot of private residences, but also a ton of Airbnbs, guys. So friends of ours who didn't have an RV, didn't camp, stayed in Airbnbs, real reasonable, and some of them you go right out your back door, and there's a short trail that goes to some of the main trails. So
yeah, actually our friend Steve, who crashed in the video earlier, he and his wife, they are building an Airbnb down there as we speak.
Not sure if it's Airbnb, I think it's just going to be their cabin. But
oh, sorry about that, guys.
you're going to have to rent it out now if you said it.
Rent it to me.
So we're still on the back 40. You cross a few paths or roads, and like I say, there's a fun way to hit this.
And that is that the greenway that's running alongside the left there, Mark?
I think as you get down further, you'll see some of the greenway. That's actually road right now, like some of those neighborhood roads.
Because the greenway does run along the road.
Good point. So that it might be. I think it does. We went up. Yeah, I think it.
Yeah, because I think we rode out on that and then ripped back on the single track.
Yep. This fun little section that we did kind of twice. We found it's like, oh, you can take the tame way up on the greenway, and you can bomb down. It's a good 4 or 5 minute bomb down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see the greenway right there now.
You're right. Yeah. So if you've been to Bentonville, what are some of your favorite trails there? You've got, Sugar, you've got, gosh, I'm not even I should have wrote all those down. There's a million of them down there. There is, why am I drawing a blank right now? But whatever your favorite trail is, give us a comment below, let us know. Like I say, we'd love to try different ones next time we're down there. Had to throw this in here. So this was our snowy, rainy day. Tons to do in this town. Bentonville Brewery was amazing. The food was good from that little pub right there.
Can always break it up with a little game of right, left, center.
We started playing for fun, and then we decided to maybe put a little money in the pot here and go for some money.
Big money.
Big money. But this was cool. What's the name of this place?
Was it the Monument? Momentary. It was Momentary, I believe.
Okay.
Right downtown Bentonville.
Yes. Look at this. Look at this sunset, guys. I mean, we have a million pictures from this. Some of our favorite pictures from the sun being all the way down and not quite down, and just people going over there left and right taking pictures. But get up there, grab a beer. I don't think they serve food, but
it looks, and it's kind of a bougie place and stuff. But we walked in there with our biking gear on, and I guess apparently they were running a fashion show down below, and the gal said, "So, are you guys here for the fashion show?" And I kind of looked at her and I said, "Do we look like we're here for the fashion show?" She was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so maybe go and shower up and show up in a little bit nicer clothes, because it was a little bougie. It was nice. I mean,
very nice.
It was definitely cool. So anyway, hopefully a few of you made it this far in the video, and thank you for checking it out. Give us a like, subscribe, like I said. We love doing adventures. Biking is kind of the primary, but we also hike. We have some Hawking Hills videos coming up that we did some hikes down there. We do all kinds of RVing, traveling, kayaking, Basically anything you can say the word adventure with, we're involved in, and we like to inform other adventurers on some fun stuff to go do, and really cool destination. So thanks for spending some time with us, and stick around for some more videos.
We'll see you in the great outdoors. Is this recording right now?
Yeah. Once we get rolling, we'll get rolling. It's kind of fun doing this with you. Mark and Amy Deering coming to you from the Adventure Channel. We have an adventure that we just came back from in Bentonville, Arkansas. And we like to throw together little videos to kind of show you what we learned down there.
We had a great time.
Just remember the what's that video we were watching, and he would go to her and she'd say, yeah.
Dawn. Mark and Dawn. Restart the whole thing.
Okay. That's why I said you want to be a little ready to say something. Yep.
I didn't say yeah, I said we had a great time.
Okay. Start over, but this is good. That's good. Let's start over. That was good. Okay. Now I'm ready. We have to play off each other. Okay.